Next email comes from Casper. He says, "Hey, Bandrew, I love ReviewBrah, and I would like to listen to his radio podcast. Here is a sample. But in my opinion, this sounds bad, very tinny. I think S is too harsh. There is not enough bass, but that's only my amateurish opinion. Can we help our fellow YouTuber with upping his production value? I have no idea what hardware he's using, but I think he's recording it in a professional radio studio. In my opinion, In my opinion, that quality is very poor for a pro setup. There is a possibility that he's recording with bad settings/software. Casper, thank you very much for the email. If anybody is interested, ReviewBrah's podcast is called the VORW podcast. And here is a quick sample of that so you can hear what Casper is criticizing or asking for assistance in improving. Here is a clip from the VORW show podcast international radio thing.
This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is VORW International, the voice of the Report of the Week, Thursday, the 17th of October, 2019, the year being.
That was a very quick sample of ReviewBrah's podcast. I went ahead and headed over to the podcast channel for this, and I was able to find a video where he is recording the podcast with a face cam, and it appears that he is recording it with an Audio-Technica ATR 2100 USB about 6 to 12 inches away from his mouth. So in my opinion, he has a good microphone to record a podcast with. He is a little bit far away from that microphone, or a little bit farther away than I would personally prefer. You can hear a little bit of room noise, and it is definitely harsher in the higher frequencies. I think he has a similar voice to me, where it is a little bit higher pitched and a little bit abrasive, and he may benefit quite a lot from throwing on a de-esser, getting the microphone a little bit closer to get that proximity effect engaged and offset the higher pitch to his voice. But also the 2100 USB is really boosted in the presence and treble area, and it gives it a more nasally tone compared to other microphones of the same ilk, like the Samson Q2U, which is actually the only other microphone that is built like that sounds different. So I think the Q2U may be a better option, but his S's would be much more sibilant on that microphone. If I were him, I would throw the microphone closer to my mouth, get it maybe 3 inches off, throw on a de-esser, and that should do a lot to help out. Maybe throw on a compressor as well. And if it's still a little bit too shrill in the higher frequencies, maybe pull down a little bit with a slight EQ. Future editor Bandrew here. I realized that what I should do here is include a very quick test of adding the processing I am recommending. So first I will play a clip from ReviewBrah's podcast with no processing. Then I will play a clip with a little bit of processing that I added on top of it, and then I will explain what I did.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is VORW International, the voice of the Report of the Week, Thursday, the 17th of October, 2019, the year being. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is VORW International, the voice of the Report of the Week, Thursday, the 17th of October, 2019, the year being.
First thing I have in the chain is a FET compressor, which is a very quick compressor. I have a ratio of 4:1, an attack of around 18 milliseconds, and a release of around 200 milliseconds. And I just added this to level out his speaking voice because there is a little bit of variance, but also it does tend to beefen up the low end a little bit. Right after the compressor, I threw on the default Logic EQ with a high pass at around 50 Hz. Then I added a 2 dB boost at around 170 Hz to add a bit of warmth and body to his voice. I also heard a little bit of grit to his voice that I wasn't too keen on, so I went ahead and hunted around, and I found that around 2700 Hz is where this treble frequency was, so I cut out 5 decibels at that range, and then I rolled off everything above 11.5 kilohertz because it isn't really necessary, and all it was doing was adding more graininess and nastiness to his recording. Last thing I did was throw on a rather aggressive de-esser to tame some more of those higher frequencies and make it a little bit softer to listen to. And one more time, here is the unprocessed and then the processed version of ReviewBrah's podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is VORW International, the voice of the Report of the Week, Thursday the 17th of October, 2019, the year being. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is VORW International, the voice of the Report of the Week, Thursday the 17th of October, 2019, the year being.
And that would be my advice for ReviewBrah. What a great channel he has. And I will link his podcast SoundCloud. By the way, hey, ReviewBrah, I recommend getting off SoundCloud. Host your podcast somewhere else. And I will also link the video where you can see him recording his episode.